Good afternoon, FBC Salinas. This is Pastor John coming to you with another edition of the Midweek Refresher video, where I desire to provide some information as well as inspiration for you in the middle of your week. Certainly hope your week is going well, and if not, as I say every single week, I hope that this video can help encourage you, remind you that the Lord is with us in the midst of all that's going on in our lives each and every day. So a couple informational points for you. The first is that I want to encourage you to, if you're not involved in a life group, to get involved in one this upcoming Sunday. We will again be having signups for life groups, and if you're interested in that, reach out to Adam at fbcsalinas.com to let him know you're interested. We know right now that we're having to do this via Zoom, yet at the same time, there is still that connection that happens as we do this. And so we invite you to participate in that. And if you have any questions, please just reach out to us and let us know. The second announcement is that a week from this Saturday on March 6th, at 9 a.m., the men's ministry is having a virtual breakfast. And I guess I should rephrase that. We're having a men's ministry breakfast virtually, meaning that we will gather virtually, but we will actually be eating real food wherever we are at that particular time. And so the guest speaker is Dane Nix, and Dane has had a powerful ministry, at least in my life, over the course of the 4.5 years I've been here. But he's had a great ministry with, as he served as a chaplain in the Marines and as he now teaches out at the Naval Postgraduate School. So grateful for him. And so invite you to participate in this, men would participate in this. March 6th, 9 a.m., Dane Nix is the speaker. It'll be a great time. We'll have some other things that are going on during that particular morning as well. So invite you to participate in that. Hey, as we continue on in this Moses series, one of the things that some people have come up to me and said they're excited about us doing this series, but they also point this out. They said, really, Moses is a whole lot like us, isn't he? Well, yes, that's part of the reason why we're doing this. It's this desire to help us realize that God uses regular people in everyday situations, and I don't want us to get away from that, because I think so often when we think that God only wants to minister to us at certain places and at certain times, we miss out on the fact that our God desires to minister to us and use us each and every day of our lives. And so there's this story that happens in Mark chapter 2, and it's one of my favorite stories in all the Gospels. It says this: a few days later, when Jesus again entered Capernaum, the people heard that he had come home. Notice that. The people had heard that he had come home. For Jesus, it was a homecoming event for him. And so he shows up and everybody's excited to see him. They gathered in such large numbers that there was no room left, not even outside the door, and he preached the word to them. So Jesus shows up, whole lot of people show up. There's no more room in that place. That's the type of appeal Jesus Christ had. And then this group of people, some men came bringing to him a paralyzed man, carried by 4 of them. Since they could not get him to Jesus because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus by digging through it, and then lowered the man on the mat that the man was lying on. These men had every possible excuse to say, listen, we tried. There were too many people there. We couldn't get through. They could have allowed the excuses of not being able to get into the room deter them from doing what they needed to do, which was getting this man to Jesus. Think of the different excuses that all of us come up with. I'm too busy, or I'm not gifted enough, or I'm a little too scared. I'm this or I'm that. Yet all of us have excuses, and yet in the midst of those excuses, God can still work. And these men, I don't know what happened, but they made this decision that, hey, we're going in. We're going through the roof. And we don't know anything about the homeowner. The homeowner is not mentioned here. I imagine he wasn't overly happy about this. Yet at the same time, they lower the man through the roof. And then says this: when Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, "Son, your sins are forgiven." Now, some teachers of the law were sitting there thinking to themselves, "Why does this fellow talk like that? He's blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone? These people were against Jesus doing his work. These men probably knew these individuals, and they still took the risk. They still stepped out in faith, and they did what they needed to do. They had a variety of excuses. Immediately, Jesus knew in his spirit that this was what they were thinking in their hearts, and he said to them, "Why are you thinking these things? Which is easier, to say to this paralyzed man, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up, take your mat, and walk'? But I want you to know," and I love that line, "I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." So he said to the man, "I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home." He got up, took his mat, and walked out in full view of them all. This amazed everyone, and they praised God, saying, "We have never seen anything like this." So I ask you this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, whenever you're watching this, what excuse are you having? What excuse are you having that's preventing you from bringing people to Jesus Christ? Of stepping out in faith and allowing Jesus Christ to do great work? Because when he is there, great things happen. The people were amazed. As we go through the rest of this week, may we be witnesses for Christ, realizing that, yes, there are a variety of excuses out there, yet when we turn to Jesus, he does great things, doesn't he? So we have a God who desires to get involved in our lives every single day. May we enjoy that, and may you enjoy that, may I enjoy that, and may we continue to see Jesus Christ be lifted up so that people can say, "We have never seen anything like this." That's the Jesus we have. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great rest of the week. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.